Okay, our next question is from Erin, and she says, should founders pay themselves while they are in an accelerator program and afterward, factoring this into account when they raise their seed round and hire their first employees, or are they expected to live off their savings until they reach traction and revenue? Great question, Erin. Certainly, I can tell you what's not expected. Number one, nobody expects you to go bankrupt and put your life savings into it and go into debt. That's how it used to work. And even that's how it works in some countries that have a pathetic track record of creating startups. If you go to a country in Europe that's socialist or quasi-socialist, they will require the founders put themselves personally on the hook for investment dollars put into the company, for the employees' severance packages, all this stuff. So they have a non-fluid entrepreneurial market that disincentivizes people from being entrepreneurs. That's why you don't see a lot of great companies, world-changing, large, rabid entrepreneurship coming out of France or other countries in Europe. It's easy to pick on the French because it's pretty socialist over there. Now, so nobody expects you to go bankrupt. I have seen people put money on their credit cards. I put money on my credit cards to start Silicon Valley Reporter. So it's a pretty good sign for me if you are, putting, some skin in the game, as it were. Again, people don't expect you to go bankrupt. Now, when you're in that accelerator, to your first question, usually they give you what's called ramen money, enough to buy basic nutrients. So you're not going to live like a king or queen, but hey, you might have 2 or 3 people in an apartment meant for 1 or 2 people. Hey, you might be eating ramen. You might be working 7 days a week. And you might be paying yourself what's called a draw. Just a minor amount of money to live on. So you say, hey, we don't have a lot of money. We're poor. We came into this. We have 10K in the bank each. We're going to draw 2K each a month, 25K a year. We're going to draw 5K a month each, 60K a year, much less than you would at your other job. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to put everything in context. You're not going to get max money from a company that's buying you out like Hooli, AKA Google. They have this whole joke, Hooli, everybody's on the roof hanging out, getting paid for doing nothing. That's a direct reference to Google overpaying people, so even just to keep them in the tent, right? On the roof, as it were. So nobody expects you to go broke, although it's quite charming when a founder does go broke and put their savings in. It can be stupid, but it also can be quite charming if it works out. I mean, history defines how we contextualize these things. So a draw is pretty standard. It's a negative signal when a founder pays themselves too much. So generally speaking, if a founder paid themselves $100,000 in San Francisco, people would be like, okay, it's an expensive city. Would we rather see yourself live in San Bruno or Daly City or Pacifica or wherever, East Bay, and pay yourself 50 and live off a little savings? Of course, you want to put every dollar possible into getting, as you mentioned, product market fit and traction. So I have been involved with startups. I look at their cost structure. I ask them what they're going to burn now. I'm a seasoned angel investor. I say, hey, when you raise this $500K, how far is it going to take you? And they say, well, we have 5 team members. So I say 5 team members. I put it at 4K a team member, 5K a team member. I say 4 or 5 team members. Okay, you're spending 20, 25K. They say, no, I have 5 team members spending 50, 10K each. I go, oh, I don't know if I want to be involved in this startup because although they're paying everybody adult salaries and those people are worth it, if they're all getting paid $100,000 and they're in a startup and they're not equity incentivized, and they may need to make this runway last 12 or 18 months. So maybe if that money's only going to last 5 or 6 months, I'm just going to have them coming back to me to refill another, 10 months, $500,000. I can't do that as an angel. I have a small chip stack. So you want to spend as little as possible. You want to live frugally, and you want to get every dollar into that product. This is why it's infuriating for me when I hear startups go to this dopey web summit and spend not only $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 after being selected to come and getting a pair of tickets and a table. Then they also spend thousands of dollars on hotels and flying out, and even worse, they spend 2 weeks of their lives, a week getting ready for this, a week going, a week afterwards to recover, where they go to this dopey summit at sea and they party all weekend and think they're going to find a customer there, even though all it is a bunch of founders and a bunch of people selling into founders. You waste all this time and money. Time is the enemy. Because remember, as time goes on, your expenses are still going. Your AWS or IBM cloud bill is still going. Your salaries are still going. So time is the enemy. If you have 10 months of runway. That's like saying you have 40 weeks. If you go waste 3 or 4 weeks doing conferences that don't result in actual customers or investment, oh my God, you have to pick the most efficient amount of time, the most efficient solution in terms of time and money, because time is money. You have a certain amount of time. You're not racing against competitors. You're racing against time in most cases. The time you need to get that product to market, the time you need to find customers, the time you need to train them how to use your product, the time you need for them to fall in love with it, and for you to get those traction metrics to get the next round of financing. So take as little as possible. Most people, a lot of these programs now are 100K, 50K, right? So at the launch incubator, I give people 25K when they come in, 25K when they graduate. And if they want to, we syndicate them. And sometimes the syndicate does 100K, sometimes it does 500K. We'll see. That keeps changing over time, something to keep your eye on as well. I've seen people now go to multiple incubators because they need that next 100K. They're not going because they think the incubator is going to give them great advice. They're literally growing just because they want to get the 100K, which I think is a bad signal, right? Like if you're not going because you're going out of desperation. So you have to be a little bit careful when you see companies like that. Sometimes going to 3 or 4 incubators, maybe 2 incubators, 3 incubators, it's great if your other option is going out of business, but it also could be a negative signal. If you can't raise money from real investors, maybe something's wrong, right? And if I introduce you to 50 investors, during the course of an incubator, and you see another 50 when you graduate, you get to 100 investors and 0 want to invest out of 100, either something's wrong with you, the product, the market, or me for betting on you, the product and the market, or all the VCs and investors we met are crazy and don't get it. It is a possibility that 20 of 25 or 24 out of 25 might not get it. It's unlikely that 100 of 100 would not get it if you're meeting world-class investors from Silicon Valley. Great question, Erin. Good luck. Visit designcrowd.com/twist and save up to $100 on your design project. If you don't know, designcrowd.com is a place where it's a marketplace, and you put up what you want to design, and a bunch of designers go compete and build you a great logo, designs for your website, etc. And they've got over 500,000 registered designers from around the world. It works really simple. You post a brief. Hey, here is what I'm looking for. And you'll receive 60 to 100 different designs or more. And you then provide feedback and you get changes so you can go back and forth. And then you select the best design and approve payment to that designer. And if this all sounds scary, like, oh my God, I've never done it before, don't worry. There's a money back guarantee. And I did it for my website, calacanis.com, and for $500, we received over 350 designs. I'm not sure you're going to receive 350. I did tweet it, so maybe you'll receive 60 to 100, but it was amazing. We got a ton of great icons and illustrations and portraits and bulldogs. You can go see it if you go do a search over there, and you can help me select the winning design by voting at designcrowd.com/twist. Their other clients include Harvard Business School, the old HBS, Virgin, HTC, Absolute Vodka, Amnesty International, which was my first job out of school, and over 100,000 other small businesses. So here's your call to action, everybody. Go to designcrowd.com/twist and save up to $100 on your design project. Give it a shot. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. Designcrowd.com/twist, and you'll get $100 off. I guarantee it, but I don't have to guarantee it because they guarantee it. It's got a money back guarantee. Design Crowd, it works. It's awesome. Go ahead and visit at Design Crowd. Oh, go ahead and follow them on Twitter too, at Design Crowd. Okay.